Good day. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. My name is Dwayne Matz. Welcome again to another Primetime Devo. We've been going through the book of 1 Timothy. We're in chapter 3, verse 1, looking at the qualifications for a pastor. And we pick it up at actually in verse 2 today, which reads, "A bishop then," and a bishop we mean a pastor, "must be blameless, the husband of one wife." That's 1 Timothy 3:2. So Paul continues to pass along the qualifications for men who desire this good office of bishop. Bishop being defined as an overseer, and for our purposes in today's church, let us call them pastors. Now we've talked about the first one being blameless, that is, well, free from the possibility of being blackmailed, for lack of a better term. Today we're going to look at the requirement of having just one wife. Now there's been lots of debate over this requirement through the years. Some have gone so far as to say that the pastor must be married. While it certainly can be helpful to be married in order to minister to those with families in the congregation, it certainly cannot mean they must be married. I mean, if that's the case, the Apostle Paul himself would be disqualified. No, the key here is the pastor must have just one wife. He must be a man who is blameless, cannot be taken hold of or blackmailed on the score of sexual promiscuity or laxity. In the case of a married pastor, not guilty of adultery. Remember again the environment of these early church plants. Remember where these recent converts came from. They came from paganism, fornication, promiscuity, sexual laxity, and all different forms of sexual deviation were prevalent in the culture. But these practices were strictly forbidden by the fledgling Church of Jesus Christ. The Council of Jerusalem made that very clear in their letter to these newly formed congregations. In Acts 15:29 we read that you abstain from things offered to idols, from blood, from things strangled, and from sexual immorality. If you keep yourselves from these, you will do well. This admonition applies, of course, to all members of the church, not just the pastors. But the pastors are singled out by Paul because as leaders, they must set the standard in their own personal lives. Any convert who slid back into a lifestyle of the sexual laxity of the culture needed to be dealt with through church discipline. And certainly any pastor who slips back into sexual sin and continues in it is no longer qualified to be an overseer and certainly needs to go through the same disciplinary process of other unrepentant sinners. And remember, the disciplinary process is always meant to first and foremost restore the offender's relationship with Christ. Well, that's all the time we have for today. God bless you. Thank you much for listening. Remember, Jesus loves you. Tell your face about it.